Legendary former UFC light heavyweight champion Jon Jones is ready to fight in heavyweight against former heavyweight champion Stipe Miocic. It seems Jones got tired of fighting online and decided to return to the octagon, which coincided with a break in the career of current heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou. The greatest heavyweight of all time against the greatest light heavyweight. Who wants to see it? I'm game, tweeted Jones. It seems that Jon, at the time of his return, really wanted to avoid a fight with Francis Ngannou. And now Jones has a chance to win an interim UFC belt and calmly end his career. Or maybe not. A match that has been awaited for a long time. Now both fighters are clearly not at their peak. Stipe Miocic has not yet closed the defeat from Ngannou, and is in a completely incomprehensible form. Jones has not fought for about 2 years. Stipe is a puncher with a good grappling base. But Jones never fought at heavyweight or got hit by a heavyweight in a real fight. All this can play a role in the upcoming fight. Plus, we don't know what state John's functional training is in. But it's really interesting to look at the bony guy in heavyweights. Is he really that good? Remember with whom Jones had the hardest fights? With Big Gustafsson and with Dominic Reyes. And in what way they were better than Jones? And Miocic is certainly not worse than Gustafsson or Reyes. He's boxing and has not inferior physique than Jones. But at the same time, unlike Gustafsson, he does not lose, but rather surpasses Jones in power and physical strength. And unlike Reyes, does not die from an empty gas tank in the 4th round, and has a good wrestling. Miocic may not be in the best mental state after his loss to Francis Ngannou, which could seriously affect the course of the fight. Recall that Stipe Miocic in his last fight lost to Francis Ngannou by knockout in the 2nd round. He has 20 wins and 4 losses under his belt. And Jon Jones defeated Dominic Reyes in his last fight by unanimous judging decision. Former UFC two-weight champion Daniel Cormier believes that the league needs to organize an interim heavyweight title between Stipe Miocic and Jon Jones. I think we will see another interim heavyweight title. It makes sense to fight for the interim title between Stipe Miocic and Jon Jones. If you pit them against each other, then no matter who wins, when Francis Ngannou returns, it will be an epic battle. I think it's time to show respect to Stipe Miocic. If they reintroduce the interim title, then Miocic would have to be in the fight. Him and Jones is a fight that people dream of. It would be great to have that kind of fight and let people see what Jon Jones can do at heavyweight. The reality is that if Jones fights at heavyweight, then the belt should be on the line. Nobody wants him to fight just like that. ESPN quotes Daniel Cormier.
With Miocic, I think it's time to give him some respect and put him in a...
Yes.
If there's going to be an interim title, they can't not do it with Miocic again. Now, I'll be honest with you, Ryan. I heard some rumors, and I will say it this time, about Miocic and everything in Ohio with his team. Very tight-knit team that I hope everything is still going in the right way. But if Stipe Miocic fights anyone, he's as tough, he's as durable, and he is as good as anybody in the heavyweight division. Him and Jon Jones, that was a fight people were pining for whenever Jon Jones was the champion and Stipe was the champion. So now you make that for the interim title fight, and you also allow for people to see. So I think Stipe Jones is the fight to make, and I can see a world where Ciryl Gane fights against Curtis Blaydes. The heavyweight division is interesting right now, and the champion being away really doesn't hurt it all that much.
Stipe Miocic told what he thinks about the conflict with the man who took away his belt. He also revealed interesting details that the UFC plans to play for an interim heavyweight tap belt again. Stipe stated the following: "What is happening now between Francis and the UFC is all their own business. To me, it's absolutely not of concern. To be honest, I didn't even delve into the essence of the issue. I have a lot of my own affairs, and I just don't care what Francis and the UFC can't agree on. Of course, I want to get the 3rd fight with Ngannou. After what I saw during the Francis vs. Ciryl Gane fight, I am even more confident in my abilities, and in fact that I would beat this guy 7 out of 10 times. But if Francis leaves the UFC, I would not worry about that. For me, the main thing is the belt. I have already said everything, that I am ready to fight for an interim title. They got in touch with my manager yesterday, and they said they want me to fight for the interim championship belt with Jon Jones. Since Francis is out for a year anyway, as far as I understand, I will soon have a knee surgery, so of course I said yes to a fight with Jones. He's got a big name, he's a legend of the sport, so all Jones has to say is yes. And we can do that as early as the beginning of the summer. Let's see how everything goes. But this prospect makes me very happy in the ideal scenario. I'm saying that after Jones, I want to fight with Francis, but I think he will leave the UFC. So honestly, once I was told that I could fight Jones, that's all I can think about from then on. So I hope Johnny doesn't back down and signs the contract. He also said, by the way, Ngannou really said that he will have an operation in March. We most likely will not see him this year, but whether he will continue to fight in the UFC is also still unclear. So the Stipe and Jones fight is actually a good step on the part of UFC. If Jones would beat Stipe and take the interim belt, it would put a very significant level of pressure on Ngannou to sign a new contract with the promotion. Miocic also believes that he did enough to give him an immediate fight for the belt. Richard Schaffer, a promoter of former UFC champion Jon Jones, told The Sun in an interview that Jones is interested in returning to the octagon soon. He's ready to fight anyone. Jon is eager to fight, and Jon wants to fight for the heavyweight belt. At the same time, Jon is one of those guys who will fight with anyone without any problems. As I said earlier, Jon Jones is the Floyd Mayweather of MMA world. He's a legend, he's undefeated, and he surpasses all the rest, Schaffer said. And finally, I would like to attach my previous videos to you at the end. We have a lot of good videos on the channel on the topic, and if you like my videos, leave a like and put a bell so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching.